Transformers 1 is directed by Josh Cooley, and the plot of the movie is the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but once were friends bonded like brothers who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. So growing up, I used to watch all the Transformers cartoons. Me and my brothers would always watch them on Saturday mornings. We have all the action figures, and we kind of enjoyed the live action movies too. Some were hits, some were misses. And so when they announced they were making an animated Transformers movie, I thought, okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Doesn't have any human characters, which I'm kind of glad, because sometimes the human characters in the live action movies don't really capture my attention. But it's always a Transformers that I just want to see. And then the trailer came out and I just wasn't sold. I was just gonna pass on this movie, and it felt more like a kid's movie, which is totally fine. But then there's a lot of good word of mouth that was released, and some of the early reactions were very positive. So I thought, all right, let's just give it a chance. Why not? I got the early screener on Wednesday, and I'm really happy to report that this movie is freaking awesome. Like, it's really good, and I gotta explain why. Starting off the friendship between Optimus and Megatron, but even before they had those names, we had Orion Pax, voiced by Chris Hemsworth, and D16, voiced by Brian Tyree Henry. And the friendship that was presented, that's already established in the first act, is pretty interesting. They have a lot of antics going on together. You could tell that they've been friends for a long time, and they really do care about each other. But at the same time, Orion is someone who is really reaching for more purpose in life, kind of goes out the way, doesn't read by the books. Meanwhile, D16 does play by the books, is very straight to protocol, and doesn't want to mess around. And even though the first act establishes a lot of relationships, a lot of world building, I thought at first it was a bit of a slow burner. But then the second and third act kind of picks up a lot. Like, we're talking deep lore, we're talking like insane action sequences, and kind of seeing the fallout of Orion and D16. Like, all that being together just works perfectly in this movie. Like, there's an interesting tonal shift that happens between the first and second act, where we kind of have all these characters go out of bounds within Cybertron, and you're just like wondering, like, whoa, they're actually going there. Like, this feels like a legit serious movie, but yet still has heart and humor at the same time. And then you kind of see why D16 changes his attitude, his state of mind, and how he really becomes Megatron. I really don't want to spoil anything here. I think it's something that you guys should watch in theaters. It's definitely a high recommendation. But just seeing how this character becomes Megatron is very interesting. And then we can see Orion Pax become Optimus Prime, and it's just like, this is pretty epic. Like, there's some epic moments in here that make you like kind of jump out your seat just a little bit. Action sequences are just very solid, some great POV shots, and it doesn't hold back on the violence. Like, it's not like crazy bloody violence, like, oh my god, don't let the kids see it. But there's some interesting fight scenes. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised that got a pass. The dialogue is very interesting because, yeah, even though it is a family movie and there is some jokes that are presented, I do think when the serious moments happen, the jokes kind of get pushed away a little bit. And I really like that a lot. And normally the person that presents the most jokes in the movie is Bumblebee, who is originally B127, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key. And at first I thought he was gonna be more of just like the main jokester of the movie, and he does present that a lot within the first act of the movie. But then you kind of see his attitude change throughout the second and third act, and yeah, he still has that heart and spirit of Bumblebee, but at the same time, he does shut his mouth a little bit when the adults are talking, and I kind of like that a lot. But overall, this is a really great animated film, a surprise hit for me, might even hit my top 10 by the end of the year, because again, the trailers just didn't sell me, and the fact that I went to this movie super blind, I was just happy to walk out of this movie very hype, very energetic, because there were so many cool epic moments happening while developing an interesting friendship between Optimus and Megatron, and seeing the fallout between those characters. A story that we never really see much within the Transformers franchise kind of gives it a new life into this franchise, and I hope that this movie is successful enough to warrant another sequel. And if a trilogy is being greenlit, I do hope that Peter Cullen, the original voice actor for Optimus, does return, or at least in the third movie, kind of transition Chris Hemsworth away and kind of put Peter Cullen back as Optimus Prime, and kind of just seeing like the final grown-up stage of that character. Overall, I'm giving this movie a 4.8 out of 5. It's definitely a high recommendation for me. I think old school fans are definitely going to appreciate this film. And for the newer fans of the Transformers franchise, I think this is a great entry point to start with. And then you can watch like maybe the other cartoons or even some of the live action movies. But I think Transformers 1 kind of helps the newcomers join along this franchise. And just keep in mind, stories can be told for animation. It's not just for kids, it's for everyone. And I'm just glad that animated films are just on a great streak so far. There's been a lot of great animated movies that have been coming out this year, and I do believe that The Wild Robot that's coming out next week by DreamWorks, I'm hearing a lot of great things too. So what a fantastic year for animation. But I want to hear from you guys, so leave a comment down below what you thought about Transformers 1. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Hey, speak your opinions down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because I review movies and TV shows on a weekly basis. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.